Alright, I just changed some settings, so now we should have the right name, at least, of the live stream. I'm not going to be really doing this for very long. It's going to be maybe a 40-minute live stream, just something really quick because nobody's here, so I can use the internet as much as I want. And I just want to get kind of a general feel for how many people are here on a Saturday. Well, it is Saturday, right? Yes, it is Saturday, so I have some stuff to discuss, which I will do once some people start joining. Nothing really too major, but stuff that I think you guys would find somewhat interesting. So there's that. You're obviously watching this recorded at this time because nobody's in here. So I'll wait a little while for people to come in, and then we'll start discussing some stuff. I see you got 2 people in here right now, but we'll wait a little while until we got 3 people or something. Good morning, 2 people who are in this live stream right now. How are you guys doing? So during the last, hello again, you were in my last live stream. The first one that I did, which was on a Wednesday 3 days ago, I accidentally deleted from YouTube, and unfortunately, because I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't save it to my computer. So that one is unfortunately gone. It no longer exists, but the one we did yesterday, which was honestly a little more interesting, is still up. The reason for that is simply because I clicked delete on the wrong video. I put up a video that was no longer relevant, no longer interesting. So, yeah. It's gone, but it's okay. It wasn't really that great anyway. Hello to both of you in the chat. In just a couple of minutes, we'll start discussing something quick. As I said before, I think anyone was in here, I've got about 40 minutes before I've got to make some lunch and then get ready to head out for work. As you can see, I haven't done much since yesterday. I pretty much went to work and that was it. So I've got the server with the flash drive still plugged into it and the hard drive and power supply resting on the switch, all still there. I haven't powered it on since. Something I'll have to work out if I decide to do these more often will be how to go about the audio. Because the audio is okay. I'm using the built-in microphone on top of the 2010 iMac because somehow the microphone built into my webcam, which is a pretty good webcam, is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So I do have over here that it's being used for something else right now, a Blue Yeti. So maybe I'll set that up and do some stuff. But I mentioned that because I was watching back yesterday's live stream and it sounded bad, especially when I had the server going. But not a big deal. Not a huge deal, really. I was looking through my Reddit history today of all the things I submitted, not things that I've commented on, and let's try to find it here. There was something in here that I don't remember posting at all, but I found it so funny. Again, I don't know what it was. Who knows? Well, something that I found sort of interesting is that I've had so many computers over the past 5 years that I've forgotten things that I've had. For example, I did a Reddit post asking a question about running Ubuntu Server 12 on a Dell Dimension 4300S. I don't even remember what a 4300S looks like, but, you know, I don't remember even having one, but apparently I did at some point, and I installed Windows Ubuntu server on it. Don't remember that at all. Hello, Money Vibes. Welcome to the live stream. We'll get started on some interesting conversation in just a couple of minutes. I think maybe 2 minutes more. So I'm going to assume none of you know this, but I worked for a nonprofit a little while ago, just doing some volunteer work and cleaning up their network infrastructure. And I'd just like to show you, I'll send you an Imgur link to what their server room looked like when I first got there. Absolute terrible mess. You know, like cables, if you look at the link, you'll see this. The first picture, there's a monitor in the middle that's 15 years old, and then there's just cables running all over the place. You can barely reach the mouse, you can barely see the screen through all the cables. It's a mess. All the servers are sitting on the floor. It was interesting, to say the least. I didn't actually end up cleaning up a majority of the cabling because it was, first of all, too much to do. They didn't pay me enough. They didn't pay me anything because I was a volunteer. And no, that's for somebody else to do. Question in the comments section. What school or college did you study for in computer technology? I started out doing 2 years at a community college just because it was cheap and I could live at my parents' house during that time. It's Genesee Community College. It's in Batavia, New York. Nobody knows where that is when I say it, but it's between Rochester and Buffalo, New York, which are two pretty big cities. And it was okay. It wasn't anything special. Some of the professors, one in particular, I don't know how he even got a job because he literally knew nothing and would make up things, like saying, I wrote a list down of things that he said that were totally untrue and why I think he shouldn't be teaching. One of them was he argued with a student who said that the registry is a collection, or registry is a hive-based system or a hierarchical-based system. Basically, the student was right. The student was 100% correct. Textbook definition. And the professor's like, no, it's just a list of text files in the system. The registry is a list of text files. Yes, he actually said that. Among other things, there were like all Dell computers install Windows to the D partition, or the D drive, because it starts with D and Dell starts with D. And he was 100% serious about this. I kid you not. You can't make this stuff up. And one last one I remember is the only source of heat dissipation on a laptop is not the heatsink. The heatsink doesn't do anything, it's the keyboard. And that's the reason why you get keyboard or key marks on your screen, because the keys are getting so hot they melt the screen. How do you even, if your laptop is getting so hot that first of all heats up the keyboard, that's a problem. If it's getting so hot that it's causing plastic keys to melt into a mostly plastic, layer of, I don't know what it actually is, in the screen. If it's melting the screen, you have a problem. You got a problem. So I went off on a little tangent there. So I went to community college for 2 years. I'm currently at the Rochester Institute of Technology, or RIT, in Rochester, New York. It's a very good school. I really enjoy it. It's very expensive. And yeah, I'm there right now. So I've got an associate's degree from the community college, and I'm going to work for my bachelor's from this college. You're 16 and I love PCs and my videos. Thank you. I appreciate it. Apple keeps system files in the A drive. By that logic, yes. Yes, they do. Packard Bell, when they were a thing, they kept files on the P drive. What a moron that guy was. I don't know how he even got a job. It boggles the mind. Alright, so there's not many people in here at the moment. I don't know why, but it's fine. And the notification kind of brings me to what I wanted to discuss. Emails and notifications. What I wanted to discuss was I was picked by a friend of a friend who owns a hair salon to build him a point of sale system, which is something I've never done before. So I went to eBay and I picked out a couple things that I will, if I can, I will post a link to them in the description. Let's see. Okay, so I'm not really able to post the exact item. It's not going to work out. Oh, yes, I can. I think. Tell me if this doesn't work. But there, I bought one of those. It's a Dell Optiplex 390 small form factor computer. It's not super powerful. It's not anything really special. It's got a Core i3, a dual core i3, of course. 4 gigs RAM, 500 gig drive. And it's actually not that bad. Dell Optiplex machines are great. They're reliable, at the very least. Question, is ITT or IT Tech a good computer school? Aren't they actually gone? Didn't they close down? I think they closed down all their campuses. Maybe it was something else. I don't know enough about them. If anything, I've heard bad things, but I haven't heard much about them, so I don't know. So yeah, I bought one of these Dell Optiplex 390s, which I trust to be a pretty reliable computer for that guy. Also, I managed to snag and this one won't let me post, oh, of course it will. They did close down. I found an LO touchscreen monitor, which is what he wanted for using the point of sale software, for 160 bucks. Actually, I offered him 159, or I offered him 150, so I got it for $10 less. So altogether, I got this thing for $280. Then I went on Amazon and bought a $15 keyboard, a $60 SSD, a card reader so we can do like gift cards, and something else. A PCI Express Wi-Fi adapter. All ended up costing me 380 bucks. So I think that is incredibly reasonable for a point of sale system, and I just wanted to tell somebody that I built that, and I was a little proud of that. The SSD is probably overkill, honestly, but given that the thing has an i3 in it, it's already going to be somewhat slow, even though the point of sale software doesn't use that much of the computer's resources. So I figured, his budget's 500 bucks. I'm coming in under that anyway, and it'll make him happy to have a very fast computer. eBay scams usually the users. Do you mean eBay's scamming people who are selling stuff? Like actual eBay as a company? Because I can attest to that. They've effed me over multiple times. Technically the sellers did, but eBay could do nothing about it. I'm actually, with the exception of 2 things, I have removed everything from my eBay selling page. All of it, because I've gotten screwed over 3 times. And they were all on big ticket items. I mean, big ticket as in over $300 items, $200 items. But things that one of them that I can no longer sell, Okay, it sold within the first 2 hours or 3 hours of having it up and live. Sold it for $200. No questions asked. They bought it now. Did the buy it now thing, and it was great. Well, 16 days later, which first of all is after the warranty period that I would have offered, even though I offered it as, or sold it as no returns, they contact me saying it arrived broken. Well, why didn't they contact me when they got it broken? Basically, in the end, it ended up being two broken components off the board. It was a video card. I'm kind of all over the place. I apologize. I sent them a video card. They broke two components off. Basically, eBay told me, screw you, give them a refund, or we'll do it for you, and then you won't get the card back. I gave him the refund, asked him for the card back, which I had to pay for return shipping on. The card does work fine. However, nobody wants to offer me anything for it other than like $50 because it is broken. And I have to sell it as a technically broken card that does work, because if I don't, on eBay, I'll get effed over again because they'll say, oh, it doesn't work, and the seller tried to scam me. I sold a 2012 MacBook Pro, which I made a video about a while ago. The one that had liquid damage. It had a margarita spilled all over it. I fixed it up. It had worked pretty much flawlessly up until the time I sold it. I sold it as is, no returns, explained verbatim what the situation was. It had something spilled on it. I cleaned it. It works. And, buyer, be aware. Not beware, but be aware. So this person later messages me saying the logic board has issues. No shit, it has issues. It had a margarita spilled on it. And he wanted a partial refund, so I contacted eBay and PayPal, because he opened up a PayPal case. And they said, well, there's nothing you can do. You marked it as working, and the seller says the logic board has an issue. So, you're sorry out of luck. Oh, and to top that one all off, the guy, after I, I'm fully compliant, I'm a little pissed off at this point, but I give him his partial refund of $150 on a $300 item. The guy leaves some very nasty feedback, and I'm actually going to read it exactly as he posted it, because it really, it kind of got to me. Like, I was very pleasant, very nice with the guy. So he left me, first of all, negative feedback that said, not as described. It was as described. Zero communication. I contacted and talked to this guy the entire time. I sent him probably 6 messages. Fraudulent. No, not fraudulent. Beware in all caps, and then without another space, he goes on to say, has multiple eBay accounts. I don't have multiple eBay accounts. I never have. I've only ever had one. So this jackwagon screwed me over by lying and then left negative feedback after I was pleasant and complied with him. So that was a little frustrating. One kind of in the middle situation I had that was just a little frustrating was there was this guy who wanted to buy my Dell Inspiron 5100. He made me a good offer on it, so I sold it to him. But beforehand and afterwards, he sent me messages that they made no sense. His main language is English. I know this. But he didn't use any punctuation or any spaces in between words or any capitalization. Terrible, terrible writing. And then he leaves me neutral feedback saying seller needs a brush up on his communication skills, a tune-up. And by the way, it's written in a really weird way that doesn't make sense. Like, I speak in pretty clear English and I type pretty well. and none of your messages made any sense, and it took me a lot of effort to actually decipher what they meant. And for you to leave that feedback is upsetting. The last thing, and then I'll kind of get off my high horse about, being such a great eBay seller, is I sold a 2009 27-inch iMac, just like the one I have, except 2009. Hold on. Kind of running out of breath here. I'm talking so fast. It gets to the guy, and by the way, this was in perfect condition. I sent it in the original box, original packaging. He messages me and says that the screen is doing weird things and he wants a full refund. Again, eBay says nothing we can do, give him a refund. So I do. I ask him to please ship it back in the original packaging, which he didn't. He shipped it in a box that was twice the size, with one layer bubble wrap just strewn in there, keyboard and mouse thrown in there. Keyboard broke literally in half. Mouse was okay, screen was somehow okay, and there was a dig in the back of it. I messaged him, I messaged eBay, nothing they can do. So I am done with eBay, at least selling things. I've never had an issue buying anything, honestly. So I'll keep buying things, but I'm not going to sell anything anymore. Ever again. Frustrating. Alright, I gotta go do something quick. There's somebody at the door, so I'll be right back. Alright, so I just bought some popcorn from the kid next door. Awesome. I see I have 6 people watching. I'm sorry that you all showed up when I was not sitting at the computer chair. Somebody asked, so how's your guys' days been? I know you're asking that to people in chat, but I'll tell you about my day. Well, I haven't done much, so basically I went to work, and that was it. So now I'm going to my second job in about 2 hours. Something, again, quickly regarding eBay once more, is I have bought and sold, I guess, 124 items total on eBay, because my little eBay rating is 125. It's very unfortunate that because I have that one negative feedback and that one neutral feedback from buyers who were kind of jerks, instead of having 100% feedback, it brings me down to 97.6. And I'll be honest, I try to avoid sellers that sell things when they have like less than a 98% feedback rating because a lot of the time, I don't know, it's not something I like to do. I try to go with the highest rated sellers. Well, it sucks that my rating has been brought down because of these people being jerks. But if, anybody looking at my feedback goes back literally to the beginning of when I started eBay, it's all, great buyer, great seller, everything's great, no issues, you're the best person ever, comments. It stinks, but I'm over it now. I don't want to deal with selling stuff on eBay. I'm over it. So, that's all. That's all I got to say about eBay. I'd like to figure out a way, and I think I already know an answer, for this server to get it working the way I want to, because I'd like to have all of these drive bays here available to put disks inside of. And I'd like to use all 6 of them as data disks. So I got my SSD here, and I need to put it somewhere in this server so that it first of all can connect to the internal SATA port, so I don't have to install a driver to install Windows. And I also need to put it somewhere. So I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know what to do. Because there's not really a good spot to just stick this SSD. Unless I were to move this internal battery, which is for RAID controller settings, then maybe I could stick it in right here. But I really don't know, because there's not a lot of room in there. That's not the biggest server bay? What? It definitely isn't the biggest disk, what do you want to call it? I don't know. The guy that I bought it from actually had a, what was it, a 16 disc array, which was kind of neat, and I really want one of those, but that'll come later. Put it in the back. I'm going to move the camera, so excuse the jiggliness for a moment. That's what she said. I could probably stick it to the back or something. I can't see what I'm doing right now. I'll have to wait till the live stream catches up. Or I could maybe... See, I don't want to put it on the board or on here with sticky tape. It's not something I care to do. And I don't want to disrupt the airflow. So, as I was saying, I think I might put it here, because if I move this battery over a little bit, I could probably fit the SSD. I mean, it almost fits as is, right there. And it would be right next to this power extension. So I think that's what I might do. Even if I end up putting, because an SSD might be overkill, I might put in just a 2.5-inch drive, and then wrap it in something so it doesn't short out, and that'll be that. I think that's what I might do. If the SATA cable will reach, that'll be another difficulty in itself. I think I have a longer one now. Like a super long one. Might be a problem later on. Yeah, might be. Who knows? Alright, let's... Okay, I think I got a good angle there. It's kind of frustrating to have to look at the live stream and then wait for it to catch up. Okay. That one guy with the car, welcome back. I think I remember you from yesterday and my first live stream, so I'm glad you could join us. By the way, don't expect to have these every Friday and Saturday. I just got kind of lucky, and I've had some time to be able to be home, unlike usual, where I'm school 8 to noon, hour lunch, then work noon or 1 to 8, and then homework. So don't expect these all the time. This is a very big treat for you guys, as I would say. You recently bought another Dell Inspiron yesterday for a killer deal, brand new in the box. What kind of Inspiron? I'm not really a big fan of Inspirons because they usually don't last, in my opinion, or from my experiences, but I'm interested to know what you got. You know, a lot of people have said they like these live streams, and I'm glad you like to listen to me ramble. Sorry, I gotta do this. What was I saying? And I like to watch them too, like B Bishop. Is it B Bishop PCM or B Bishop CM? I don't actually know how his last name's spelled. I think it's B Bishop CM. I've been subscribed to his channel maybe 3 years, and I enjoy his live streams. You know, they're not anything to really watch because it's just his face. But it's kind of a podcast type live stream, and I enjoy it. I enjoy listening to people ramble about things like that. So, Inspiron 11 3000. So is it one of those Foley in half ones? That sounds like what it is. I'm looking it up right now. No, it's not. Okay. Oh, it is. Okay, I was right. I haven't actually worked on one of these yet. It looks alright. Looks kind of cool. What did you buy it for? Did you buy it for yourself for use, or I see you bought it brand new in box, so maybe it's a refurb, or not a refurb, but like an open box kind of thing. And while I'm talking about open box stuff, do you guys, if you have a Best Buy near you, do you ever go to that little middle section they have and like look at the refurb stuff or open box stuff? Because they've got some pretty good deals. I don't need any of it or really want most of it, but they've got some good deals. Like they had a couple of 2014 iMacs, 21-inch, 21.5-inch ones for like $500. That seems like a pretty good deal to me, but I don't need another one, so I left it for somebody else to buy. I was at a pawn shop and laptops are 20% off. Well, that's kind of cool. All my pawn shops are sketchy as hell. I've bought one thing from a pawn shop ever. I think it was a GPS back before I had, you know, a usable phone. The iPhone 4 was a terrible use, or it was terrible for GPS stuff. So I bought a GPS for like $20 and it was awful as well. Yeah, I would say if it was used and it was 20% off, you got a pretty good idea, or pretty good deal on that. I had an iPhone 4 and I used it. I bought it brand new within the first month it came out in, was it June 2010, I think? I'm going to Google this because I'm interested. Yeah, iPhone 4 on Verizon. Bought it brand new in, yep, June 2010. I bought it within June, and I used it up until October of 2015. So I used it over 5 years, and it was great. I was sad to let that thing go. I still have it. It's right there, or right there. I think it's next to my USB Pet Rock. It still works. It works just fine, and I used it on iOS 5.1.1 up until I think the last 3 months I had it. I had it up on iOS 5.1.1. But I needed to run something for school, so I had to upgrade to 7 dot something. I can still actually downgrade it because you normally can't downgrade Apple devices, but when I got it, it was running iOS 4 dot something, and then I upgraded to 5.1, and on 5.1.1 I jailbroke it. And the SHSH blobs were saved in Cydia's servers, I think, so I could download them again and actually roll back my iOS version. So I can roll it back to 5.0.1, 5.1.1, and I think 613 maybe. But yeah, I still have it, and the fact that I can downgrade it again makes me kind of happy for nostalgia's sake. But iPhone 4, absolute tank. It was the best phone I've ever owned, by far. I've heard a lot of people have had issues with the iPhone 4 battery life, and I was never one of those people, and I use my phone pretty heavily. I got, I think, maybe 5 hours of total, like, on time throughout the day, up until I stopped using it, so I guess I got lucky and had a good battery. The only thing I had to replace on it, and it was completely my fault, was the screen, because why did I have to take it apart? I don't actually remember. I had to take it apart for something, and I tried to put the screen back in and ended up actually bending the cable, so the colors would get sort of inverted. Like, they weren't exactly inverted, but the colors were all weird, and I used it that way for a couple months. But that was the only thing that went wrong, and it was 100% my fault too, which was unfortunate. But other than that, it had no issues. So other than me being stupid, great phone. I wish I could still use it, but I need to do things like, run apps and stuff on it. That's a really good deal on the iPhone SE, $41. Very nice. Very nice indeed. I've I don't want to say I've given up on Apple phones, iPhones, but they just don't do anything for me. I just don't care for them. I don't really have a reason, but I just kind of fell out of my like for them and Apple devices in general, unfortunately. So right now I've got a Moto X Pure Edition, which is just the Moto X, but an upgraded version or something, and it's waterproof. This is the only phone I've ever actually broken a screen on. It took a 2-inch drop out of my pocket because I was sitting on the ground on the pavement somewhere, shattered the screen. I was so pissed. So pissed. But luckily, it's an easy screen to replace. And the phone's been great. I've had no issues with it. I would recommend one, even though it's over a year old at this point. What time is it? Alright, I got about 7 more minutes. So if you have anything you want to discuss with me, please do. I'll be here for at least 7 more minutes. I might be here a little longer. I don't really have anything to say. I just got some time, and I know you guys like these, so I'm here. Let me add a description. Yeah, screw it. I don't have anything to say. It's kind of the mood that I'm in today. Just like, eh. So yeah, I just got a message from that person I bought the Dell Optiplex from, and I love sellers who do this, and unfortunately I can't be one of those people, just because I don't care to be, really. I'd like to, but it's too much effort. He sent me a personalized message saying we shipped your computer and everything that came with it, etc. And please let me know if you have any questions or if there's any problems. So I like that from a seller. I like that a lot. You remembered why you subscribed to my channel. Why was that? Because I ramble on about old computers endlessly? Do you not get a notification for live streams? If you'd like, I might... I do have a Twitter. I hardly use it, honestly. So, If you'd like to, you can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter name is appleontheapex, as is everything. Most websites, my name is appleontheapex. Here's a link to it. Recently, I've just been kind of using it as a stupid personal thing, but if you'd like, I can post like a tweet or something when I plan to go live, but otherwise I don't really know how to do it. You subscribe because the old Mitsumi mouse with the weird joystick. I forgot about that thing. I want to go back and look at that video. Was it with the clicky scroll wheel? Was that what it was? Or was it the ball in the middle with like the two things on the side that was so ergonomically wrong? So wrong. Oh, I'm trying to find it right now. That was a while ago. Oh, I think I froze my Chrome window. What do you suggest if I were to buy a PC? I don't know, it depends on what you're going to use it for. What I suggest for like general use, like not gaming, but kind of office tasks or general tasks, just all of them really, I suggest Dell Latitude systems for laptops because you can get them dirt cheap and they're really powerful and sturdy and all that jazz. Okay, the Mitsumi mouse was the one with the clicky wheel in it. Or if you're doing a desktop, a Dell Optiplex, because you can get pretty cheap ones that are powerful. Yeah, somebody, you just said get a Dell or something that lasts a long time. Stay away from Dell's consumer line if you can, if it's not out of your price range, because they're garbage, honestly, especially their newer stuff. They're not that great. You do gaming, well then, I don't know if I would actually... You can get some good deals from Best Buy. They do have some good stuff, but it might be cheaper and it might be a learning experience and it might be fun to build your own. And there's tons of guides online. And there's a website called pcpartpicker.com that I use to build stuff just so I can keep a running list. It's very helpful and it's good. So if it's a gaming PC you're after, I would maybe build it yourself if you can. You subscribe because of the IBM workstation video. I remember that one too. That was a terrible video in which I didn't know what I was talking about. That was like 3 years ago, I think. So now you guys got me wanting to go look back at my videos and look at them, watch them. There's a couple of videos that I made ages ago, and either I privated them or made them unlisted, or one of them I deleted because it was just abysmal. And I don't know if you guys remember any of them. Let me take a look and see if I can find any. I had my going through computer stuff, part 1, 2, and 3, in which I got a huge load of crap, honestly, from someone, and they only got like 100 views. That was 3 years ago. So where's my IBM workstation video? The IBM IntelliStation M Pro, that was 3 years ago. I actually locked that video for some reason. Let me take a look at why that may have been. I think I got some stupid comments on it, mainly because I didn't know what I was talking about. Yeah, yeah, that one's gone for now. I might unhide it later. Something I talked about in my last video was the Calibri OS, which is an OS that you can run off of a floppy disk. Boot off one, at least. Nice haircut. Thank you. I did get a haircut yesterday. I feel much better. I hate having long hair. There's the Calibri OS video that's pretty short, but it's kind of cool. The tour of the 9100. Well, that just links me back to... Interesting. Yeah, the 9100 video was kind of cool. I had 2 of those laptops, which I think I showed off too. You've heard of that. Yeah, Calibri OS is interesting. It's not useful really in any way. You can use it as like a calculator, but it is pretty freaking cool. And that is, by the way, running on the Packard Bell Legend 1540 Supreme. What the fuck was that? Which is a really odd naming convention, if I am honest, because there's a lot of Packard Bell Legend systems, but usually the number is before the word legend, if I remember correctly. So this is a Legend 1540. Most of them are like 1520 Legend or something like that. And there's no documentation for this thing that I could find anywhere online. So maybe I got an oddball one. Who knows? I still have it. Still there. You try it, but you don't have a floppy disk handy. Unfortunately, I got rid of all my floppy disks. Otherwise, well, not all of them, but my extra ones. Otherwise, I'd offer to mail you one or something. I sent 40 or 50 pounds of floppy disks in old software to, what was it? Oh, what was it? BitHistory. BitHistory.org. Here's their Facebook page. They are based, I think, out of Washington. And they contacted me because I had a, what was it? A Craigslist posting of all these floppy disks and stuff I needed to get rid of because I had so many that I got all for free. And actually, I apologize. That link is not for my thing. This one is, though. So if you follow that one, that link, that brings you to a picture of the box. So I had, I think 108-inch floppy disks, couple of 300, 5 1/4 inch, and then some miscellaneous 3.5-inch ones. But yeah, 52 pounds. 52 freaking pounds. It's awesome. Alright, I'm going to give myself 2 or 3 more minutes, so if you have any other further questions, feel free to leave them or save them for the next live stream if you want me to go in depth with them. Because I gotta go make food and I gotta take a shower and go to work. Can't click the links. I can click the links. Did you try copying and pasting them? If you're really interested in the 2 links I did from BitHistory, just go to Facebook and search for bithistory.org and you'll find it right away. Alright, well, at this time I don't see any more questions, so feel free to continue your discussion if you'd like, but I'm going to end the live stream here because I've got some things to do. I appreciate you all watching and discussing. Again, it's always fun. And we will see you in the next live stream. Have a good night or morning or whatever it is. And yeah, and again, we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.